What is going on, everybody? Joshua here again with Reasonably Prepared, and what we're talking about today is the first 3 action steps you can take to start getting prepared right now. Welcome back, everybody. If you're liking what I'm doing and if you're liking the channel, why don't you give that thumbs up a beat down like you're in the UFC. Go ahead and leave some comments below for me. Let me know other videos you might want me to make, or if you're just digging these videos, and I'm happy to engage with you. Remember to subscribe, hit the little bell notification so that every time I put out a new video, you get to it. So what are we doing here today? Let's get into it. The number one question I get when someone realizes, hey, I'm kind of behind the 8 ball on being ready for certain scenarios and certain events, the number one thing people ask me is, where do I start? Where do I even begin? You know, do I go out and buy a bunch of guns and ammo? It's actually really simple and really practical, the foundational starting place. And while some may disagree with me, and there may be some Uber preppers out there who can fundamentally disagree with me, that's okay. For those of us starting the journey, this is where we start. Number 1, do you have water? Do you have water stored up? Do you have access to clean water or be able to clean water in the event that your power goes out or you lose water, or you're unable to do it? Whether you're in a drought and water runs dry in your well, whether you're on municipalities and electricity goes down and they're unable to treat water because of a storm or lightning strike or something of that nature, your number one place to start is to make sure you have enough water stored up for yourself and for your family, and you have the ability to purify water for drinking needs. And there are a number of ways to do this. Just to give a couple of bullet points. Number 1, store some gallons of water under the sink, in the basement, in the closet, things like that. My absolute bare minimum recommendation, for depending on how long you want to have water for, stored water is going to be, and this is the bare minimum, and I can unpack this further if you want me to, but is 2 gallons per person per day. So if you're just one person and you want water for yourself for 7 days, the minimum, the basic minimum stored up is 2 gallons per person per day. I would steer clear of the gallon jugs that look like milk jugs. That plastic in that is flimsy. It likes to degrade fast. They just don't last as long. Get the stronger, bigger, they're more of a rectangle type and they're super clear with the handle on top. Anyway, make sure you've got 2 gallons per person per day. And make sure you've got some way to purify water. And there's so many different ways on the market to do this. There's different water purifiers like big Berkey systems. There's the Sawyer systems, which I like. I'll leave a link in the description below to buy some of these. But you've got to make sure that your water needs are taken care of. Water is number 1. Absolutely. You cannot live more than 3 days without water. After a day and a half of no water, you begin to go severely dehydrated, depending on the scenario. So I can't stress number 1, if you don't even do anything after this, make sure you have water for you and your family. Okay. Number 2 is going to be food. Okay, you can't live any more than 3 minutes without air. Okay, you can't live with any more than 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. But there was an article once posted. I can't remember who it's from or things like that. But it hypothesized 9 meals to chaos. 9 meals, 3 a day. That's 3. That's 3 days. After that, things might start falling apart. The military has done studies on this and things of that nature. So number 3 is going to make sure you've got some amount of food stored up. You can do freeze-dried food. What? Number 2 is going to be make sure you've got some amount of food stored up and readily available. And this can be done very easily and very practically. The easiest and most practical way is just to make sure that you've got dried beans, dried rice, and some canned food on a shelf, in a reserve, or in a box somewhere in case you have an emergency. Okay? That's the easiest way to go. Canned beans, dried beans, rice, non-perishable foods. These do take some amount of water to reconstitute typically, so that's going to draw from your water supply, but that's the easiest way to go. There's other ways are long-term food storages that, like Mountain House or freeze-dried foods, things of that nature. You'll do a bunch of research on doing that, but food is number 2. Water, then food, number 2. And my third and final thing that make sure you absolutely must have is medical supplies. Tylenol, ibuprofen, bandages, basic cold and sinus stuff, flu flu medication, cold medication, maybe some natural homeopathic sleep aids like melatonin to get good rest and get your circadian rhythms. Circadian. Basic medical supplies that you can buy at Walmart, you can buy it over the counter anywhere, are going to aid you very, very, very well. And I base all of this. You consider this. Consider Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's that awesome pyramid that gives a psychology of what the human mind, human body needs, right? And the first one's going to be physiological, and that's going to cover food and water, warmth and rest. Okay, so we just went over that. The next tier up is going to cover security, so it goes into job, actual security, feeling safe, making sure your safety needs are met, all of that. And these top 3 things, where you can begin right now very inexpensively and very fast, cover even just the basics, the very, very basics of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which we learn about that in basic psychology class and other ways. So I can't stress enough that it doesn't have to be a arduous, non-fun, bizarre exercise in the most imaginary things. We can start in some very practical ways. So don't go out there and worry about, do I need to own all this guns and ammo and all of this property, at the moment? Do I need to make sure that I weigh, that I learn martial arts and MMA and Krav Maga and all that stuff right now? Where to begin? Make sure that you've got water, make sure that you've got food, and make sure that you've got some medical and safety supplies for you and your family. Okay, so those are my 3 things. As you're starting your journey, as you're starting to research those first. What are the best ways for you in your scenario to store up some water, to purify water, to store up some food and have some food, and to make sure you've got basic medical? When you're doing your research, please start there, in those places. It will help you tremendously and is the easiest place to go. And then from those, once you have that foundation, you can start moving into other areas of preparedness. I hope this helps. And remember that prepared does not equal paranoid. Have a good day.